Hank, well, I don't know what's gonna happen to him. He's too much of a free spirit, and that ending was extremely cryptic. Without giving too much away, they leave it as vague as possible, so we have no idea what the future holds for Hank. So we're gonna have to wait next season to see what happens. Well, that aged poorly. Yes, I'm fully aware that they got canned, and with the way things were going with the WB Discovery merger, it was clear that their time on this earth was done. I mean, this isn't the first time Adult Swim just up and threw away one of their all-time best shows before, but through some miracle or potential fan backlash, they decided to give them one last hurrah through a movie, since they did that with the Gargantua 2 special they made a while back. But yeah, we got the movie now, and it's pretty good. Has a lot of problems, but it's still pretty good. The film, like the show, is really a fun roller coaster of revelations and a pretty good way to wrap things up with a pinch of hope. You'll see when we get there. So yeah, contrary to the millions of comments saying "to my Hank" comment, we actually do figure out what happened to him. Obviously his family goes looking for him and they think they found him, but then... Also, Rusty's a bastard as always because he doesn't care.
Because he's Hank. He does this. He runs off and does crazy things, and then he comes back home again.
Also, remember when I said that they're both related? Well, they gotta do a DNA test to make sure that they're actually related. So yeah, Monarch is mad because he can't harass Rusty because of guild politics. Meanwhile, him and his sidekick go underground and see Among Us! Also, his ex is there for some reason. Oh, and Rusty's realizing his new helper voice computer robot thingy, because Amazon Echoes are a thing. But hey, they at least add a little twist to him. And cause of that defect, he forces the midget and his albino friend to fix the thing, even though their deadline is literally tomorrow. Also, we find out where Hank has been, and he's going back to where it all started. Oh, and he has split personality disorder. Honestly, this could have been explored more if they continued the series, but hey, it was handled pretty well here. And now Dean, not Doctor Strange, and not Blade are on a chase to get Hank back, even though he slept with his girlfriend at the time. Oh, and we're not done. See the poster right here? Well, it wasn't lying. You'll see in a minute. But for now, Malcolm's ex is showing him her villainary services that include henchmen and personalized weapons to show off to your arch enemies, because, you know, she's trying to swoon him. So he tries her services and tries to arch Rusty, but then he gets played.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And then all of a sudden, this happens.
Holy
yeah, that floating thing wasn't just a gimmick. And from here, things just keep getting grander or more epicer, and I'm fully aware that epicer isn't a real word, but I don't care, because that's how amazing this show is. With Hank going back to Denver and going back to his house, and it's gone. Oh, and his buddy is the security guard of the place now. And Jay Jonas got fired from the Daily Bugle, is now a drunken asshole living around the compound.
You're the trespasser, you sticky-fingered little fascist.
Oh, and Hank is trying to get rid of his mommy issues by trying to find her. And he does, but then he tells her about her past. She talks about how she met her grandfather and, oh hi Stanley. Basically the TLDR is that she fell in love with Venture Sr. during her hippie craze. He gave her the ability to turn invisible, but soon everything including her acting career began to fall apart around her. And then she got stuck doing villainary errands to Magneto here, and they both like each other, but then they broke up, and then she meets Rusty. But then she tells Hank, "No fam, I ain't giving you my milkies cause I ain't your mama." Hank then goes into a coma after that realization, refusing to leave his mind and preferring to be stuck in a fantasy as a coping mechanism as opposed to accepting the truth of the matter at hand.
Meanwhile,
Ventex Tower is literally in the stratosphere hovering over Earth, and it's all due to the Monarch's ex-girlfriend trying to get rid of him, Dr. Venture, Co. from the picture. Why? Because she feels Mrs. Monarch has been wasting her potential working for incompetent men and feels that she should work with her and become her own superpower, and some potential lesbian undertone here and whatnot. And oh, and she's Bobby St. Dumas' real daughter. Meanwhile, the Monarch and Dr. Venture are trying to escape the Ventec building, but then all of a sudden they conveniently find a Voltron suit to escape, and with the help of Brock and his moody ass general, they both try to make sure the tower doesn't crash into the earth and potentially wipe out everything like they did with my cousins. And all the while, not Doctor Strange convinces Hank to move on from his whole "who am I" or "he's literally just me" slump, but not before everyone meets up. And then the Monarch gets brutally stabbed through the liver by the fucking Venture Senior statue. God, can this guy catch a break or what? Anyway, it turns out that James Jonah Jameson is also a surgeon and saves the Monarch's life, but also reveals that Dr. Venture and the Monarch are actually clones! Yeah, they just pulled this shit out of their ass, and it feels pretty forced as a result. But after some motivation from his wife, the Monarch swears revenge on Dr. Venture and Co. And it ends pretty open-ended, hinting that this rivalry will be continuing in the possible future, or at least until Adult Swim asks for another season. So overall, this is a very fun movie. It looks as stunning as ever, and it's a massive improvement to the show's already beautiful looking animation. And as a result, it feels much more grander than ever. My biggest gripe is that the story feels pretty rushed, and some characters characters' motives and the like don't feel clear or fully in-depth like the show, and it doesn't help that the ending feels like something they just threw at the wall for potential future season hook, but it just doesn't work. But beyond that, I can't deny that even if this is the last time we'll ever see this show, at least it ended on a pseudo bang than potentially shitting the bed like some finales would do. And hey, it's better that the show ended where it did as a masterpiece than potentially digging its own grave to the core like some shows that should have never gotten popular in the first place. But hey, I'm happy to say that this was a great way to wrap things up. This has been Dino, and have a splendid day, folks.
He destroyed the Hub Network, and he's destroying HBO Max. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's just Max now.
Well, you know what, Grip? You're just a hater.